The Krewe NFC Roundtable.
Roundtable. Proudly presented by Crüe Life.
That music just seems a little off.
That was like Zen. That was Zen-like music.
Probably I was watching the Weather Channel.
I don't know, I kind of like it.
I like the intro. The music was kind of yeah. We gotta figure something else out. How you guys doing?
Kind of put me to sleep like Thursday night.
Thursday night.
There
You watching
was-
Step by Step?
No, there was a football game on Thursday.
I didn't see any football being played on Thursday. Was there a college game?
It was like Pop Warner Kids, but
You know what? Let's just stop. We can't start the show without some breakfast. So everyone, get your forks, get your knives, get your maple syrup.
Chef serving breakfast.
oh my god, what do you got to say about that? I mean,
Wow. Whew.
Come on, keep it
Well,
going.
Yeah, we're waiting.
All right.
Let's get it all out.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. The Bears did go to the red zone 5 times. So there's that.
Yikes.
So anyway, which is worse?
Well, they went to the end zone 5 times, and they got 5 goose eggs on that one. But,
Right. They only scored when they were out of the red zone. But oh man, which is worse? Tom Brady juking Brian Urlacher or Roquan Smith getting depleted by an injured, broken hand, could barely move. He might have been in concussion protocol. We're not sure. Carson Wentz laying out Roquan Smith. Which is worse?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we're not even talking about TB12 Tom Brady. We're talking about Pillsbury Doughboy Tom Brady, barely looking athletic at all, juking Brian Urlacher. And then, of course, Prince Harry decleating Roquan Smith.
Well, if you want to go by signature highlight moves of career, that might be Wentz's highlight of his career.
Oh,
Maybe that could take the cake.
What's funny is
radars.
he throws that block. He's injured now, so he probably won't start the rest of the year. And the Redskins are going to win the Super Bowl.
Commanders.
Or sorry, Commodores.
Yeah, Commanders.
But anyway, we've had enough fun making fun of Andy.
Come on, let's
Chef
get it all out.
serving
Let's get it all
breakfast.
out.
One more? Now we're good. All
Let's
right.
get it all out. Because remember what they say about paybacks.
I don't know.
And let's be honest, all of your teams suck too. So
What
All
did
right.
Roquan Smith do to Carson Wentz to deserve that payback?
Anyway, well, let's head north. Let's quit the shenanigans and head north.
Chef serving breakfast.
Wow, was
You feel
fast.
good about yourself? You feel good about yourself?
Last one. All right, guys, all serious now. Let's go north. What we got going on?
Stuff.
Nothing. I want to talk about that.
Stuff.
No, I don't know if you guys were aware, but the Bears, in fact, played the Washington Commanders, Commodore 64s, whatever they're called. The game, it was close. You can definitely say that it was close.
Chef serving
It was a nail
breakfast.
biter. You weren't.
All right, I'm done.
This is so bad.
It's the simple things that amuse simple minds, I reckon. But anyway, because the game, in fact, was so incredibly close, it was a nail biter, literally almost to the last second, and the Bears just came up short by yay much.
Jimmy G short, right?
4 times.
It was actually even inside of Jimmy G standards. It was so incredibly close. I don't necessarily want to talk about any highlights. There was one. Yeah, there was one. I want to talk about it.
There was
Chef serving breakfast.
That's the highlight? Yeah.
Go ahead with your highlight.
You just did. You just did for the 213th time. But yeah, in fact, the Bears did in fact come up just a little bit short. I don't know, whatever the score was, 2-1, 3-2. I don't even know what it was. You did in fact have Justin Fields actually overthrow a wide open tight end in the end zone that would have actually given him the victory. You also had several different things. He did have a couple of good runs, and I think somebody brought up a good point. I think that was our friend Mr. Niner over here, that they're kind of trying to make him into a pocket passer, and really kind of what the last coach of the last year did is you're trying to actually adjust your quarterback to your scheme. And I think if you actually do what like Kansas City did, and you have several other places have done, they've actually sculpted their actual offense around the quarterback and their strengths. So, but
this coach and this organization did not want Justin Fields.
You know what?
They didn't want Justin Fields. They didn't go out and draft him. They were just handed him. So are they just doing what they're going to do, and then next year he'll be out?
Let's hope not, because I mean, this kid
Okay,
does
Carson Wentz.
right. This kid does have his strengths. He really does. He's got a strong arm, although his accuracy is not necessarily. He's relatively elusive. He can kind of push the ball if given time. Unfortunately, the offensive line is hurt again and things like that. So,
Yeah, South Korea. What's up, Donnie? Thanks for watching, man.
All these Bucs comments. Ugh.
but yeah, there's quite a few things that the Bears actually could have improved on. For example, the red zone efficiency. I don't know if you guys were aware that the Bears were in fact able to get into the red zone 74 times.
Let me stop you there real quick. 4th and 1 in the red zone. It's a scoreless game. Why are you not taking points when they're given?
Well, let's actually think about it like this. Harken back to the good old days. Where 80s and 90s, when it didn't necessarily matter. You're going for that score. Go over the top, crawl underneath. Whatever the case might be. And I understand why they're kind of being a little bit more, because it's early in the year. The game doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot, not within your division. So you're not going to put yourself at risk of injury by jumping over the top. I get it. But, what praise glory, I guess, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And that's actually happened 2 weeks in a row for the Bears. And the fact, really, they could have actually scored at least 1, possibly 2 more touchdowns if they just would have been a little bit more aggressive, over the top, whatever.
I mean, over the top or not. I mean, fourth and 1, regardless where it's at on the field, that's when an old lineman loves it. They put the team on their back, and all right, we're getting this. I mean, the teams I played on, they loved 4th and 1, and if we didn't go for it, they were pissed. So they made sure that we always got it. And that Bears game was, I mean, those linemen were getting manhandled. It was bad.
Right. I just don't. I'm not a firm believer in chasing points from the start of the game. I mean, you can put points on the board early. You put points on the board early. It's not a 7-point drive, but you're putting.
On a 4th and goal from the 1, you should be able to score.
You didn't on the first 3 tries.
I understand, but I mean, as an organization, you should be saying, we can punch this in. Let's go. If you want to win, punch it in. That's.
I thought it is you want to win, let booby spin.
Well,
But seriously, you start off the game chasing points. Now you've already left 3 points on the board. You're going into the next drive. They score, right? They score on that next drive, don't they?
They scored in the drive, yeah.
So now you're essentially down 10 because you've already left 3 there.
You have to remember that requires Chicago fans and team to rely on a person's foot, which they kind of are a little skeptical about these days.
Well, we did, in fact, have that kicker who scored all 12 points, Bagley, whatever his name was, who scored all 12 points and was immediately cut. We're like, whoa, we don't do that kind of thing around here.
Yeah, I mean, how do you cut the guy that scores your points? I mean, we asked that last week. We're back in the same boat, but whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. I mean, if you want, I can certainly – there are several different aspects we can talk about. Like you said, offensive line, with Whitehair being down, he's basically your anchor. So you have a couple of people in there that are, relatively new to the goings-on. That's fine. But what hurt the worst, I think, is probably when you see Leno Jr., who was with the Bears, now with the Commanders, doing well and pushing people off the ball and doing all this other stuff. You're like, okay, so where was this, last year before, that kind of thing. It's almost like sticking the old rusty fork in and twisting it.
Right. Are you saying the Bears are done? That's what I think of when I see your fork twisting it in.
No, not at all.
No, seriously.
Like a stab in the back from a gutter knife.
Nobody knows what a gutter knife is. But anyway.
But I would probably say, like, from here on out, they'll be, undefeated.
Seriously, the problem in Chicago is the fact that they got a new regime in there, right? They don't really have an identity right now. They put their face of their franchise in a quarterback. They're not willing to build an offense around. Rather, they're putting him in a square hole. He's just doesn't work there. Next year, you might see a totally different offense. Eberflus is a good coach. I firmly believe that. Poles is an offensive lineman, so hopefully you get that mentality that you start in the trenches and build your way out.
I mean, and the running game has improved. I mean, certainly from last year and years prior, that their running game has in fact improved. But what exactly are you doing with the run? You're allowing yourself to open up the pass, and then of course, when you're opening up the pass, you only have really a one receiver that you kind of sort of go to with any confidence. And I mean, the Bears of course do have other receivers. They're just not throwing it to them. You're
a lineman, Andy, right? Mike, you're a lineman. I've dabbled at guard when we were injured and needed people. But I just want to know, is this a good
block? Breakfast.
Maybe the Bears should trade for Carson Wentz to play right guard.
Wouldn't hurt.
But no, I mean, all seriousness, the Bears aren't that far off. You got talent. You just got to build around it. You need some receivers.
Do they really have talent?
I think they do.
I'm not trying to be. I mean, put it this way: how many balls hit off a player's hands?
Oh, agreed. Their receiving core is not
worse than the Packers.
I mean, their receiving core isn't something you would want to take into a dogfight or aerial assault, but you got an offense that can run the ball. Run blocking is so much easier than pass blocking.
I mean, their pass blocking, is, I believe, has got the worst in the league. Fields has been sacked the most in the league. I mean, Sam Mustipher and Luke Packard are rated as one of the lowest rated linemen. I mean,
True.
you've got human turnstiles playing
But-
on the line.
But I'll give you an example. Donovan Smith was one of the lowest ranked tackles in the league for years. You get him a quarterback that gets rid of the ball quickly. You give him a tight end to chip down on the tackle, and your pass blocking is so much better because they've got that chemistry. Pass blocking takes time to learn. You've got to learn how to exchange. It's easier to run out and push someone than it is to catch and pull and steer. It just is. And until they get that chemistry, you're going to have those issues on the front line.
It does kind of sound like your regular Saturday nights. Catch, pull, and steer.
Yeah, it's been awful.
But it's just unfortunate that it's one of those things where the Bears, a storied franchise, and this, that, the other, and this that they've kind of sort of gotten to the part where we're rebuilding yet again.
Are you rebuilding?
I would think so, because new coach, new offense, new pretty much everything. Not to mention the fact that you actually have, and you might have to say trust the process, but that process is, when you've been bad for so long, kind of like with the Cowboys and with the Buccaneers and with the 49ers, and God, I hate the Packers. Anyway, with that being the case, you got to trust it, but you need immediate. Okay, I'll wait, but you got to show me something, a 65-yarder or something like that. Or, when you're in the red zone 5 times and you score only like 3 points, you got to show me something before we go to Arlington Heights, that kind of thing. So,
Maybe Bears are playing the draft pick.
All right, we've had enough Bear talk. We don't want to beat a dead horse.
Chef serving breakfast.
Beat a dead bear.
Let's go see what's going on around the NFC North again. Brian, what do you got in Green Bay?
All right, Green Bay, after that pathetic loss against the Giants, which they should have won. Yeah, go ahead, laugh it up, Scout. Packers get the other New York team at Lambeau today, and it makes me a little nervous. 2 reasons. One, the Jets do have a very talented defensive line, and you're going to really need to rely on Jenkins and Bakhtiari today to really keep it tight. My other concern is the Jets' running game is actually pretty darn good, and the offensive line's pretty darn good, which the Packers have shown this year. They suck against the run. That is going to be a big key. And right now, I'm still waiting word to see if Rashawn Gary is going to play. He is a questionable game time decision. I'm still looking on my news feed, and I still don't see anything. If he's out, that's going to be a big deal. This will be a lot closer than what the people are making this out to be. I think this will be a definite, I would say, anywhere 3 to 5 point game. It could go either way. Rodgers is going to have to be at his best, but once again, Christian Watson's out. That's your speed threat. He hasn't had good rapport with the receivers. The only receiver he's really trusted to be shocking is Randall Cobb.
Cobb found the fountain of youth, it looks like, this season, though. He's playing well.
Yeah, I mean, Romeo Doubs has shown some talent, but he's dropping balls, and that's obviously,
that's
as a
puberty.
rookie, you're learning. Lazard is proving to not be a number one. So I don't know. It's Aaron Jones and Dylan are going to need to step it up, which they weren't very happy after the game in London, because Aaron Jones said he'd bet his paycheck he could have scored on the drive where they decided to pass on 3rd and 4th down in the red zone. It's like the whole Bears thing. It's like, why aren't you trying to use your 2 stud running backs and get it in the end zone? Just doesn't make sense. So Joe Barry was called out, and Joe Barry says they're going to be more aggressive on defense. I'll wait and see it.
Right on.
So actually, just something to add. So first off, you guys lost to the Giant. No, we'll skip that one. But I know Aaron Rodgers had a little bit of a bum thumb. I mean, how's that really working out? And how's that?
Every report that I've said that he looks good at practice, so he's good to go.
So he did. I know he didn't practice like just a good portion of the week.
See what I did there?
He practiced on Friday.
That was it, right? Yeah.
I mean, granted, he may not necessarily need the practice, but you still need to be able to get that timing with the receivers and stuff. So,
Well, he
what
should have done
exactly?
He should have done that in the preseason.
No, I get it. But what exactly was it with the thumb? Was it like a mashing type of thing? Was it a?
They
From the
said
looks
it
of him, he might
happened
have been hitchhiking.
Yeah, hitchhiking back from London, it hurt. It said he did it on the play where he tried to throw the Hail Mary and he got hit.
He was hijacking a plane full of prisoners.
So
Some got stuck on his Wranglers pulling him up.
So you're leery of the JETS this week.
I don't think I've ever heard that sentence said. I'm scared.
JETS are beating people.
They definitely. Well, we got the Vikes head into the Finns. They actually are going to face off against Tua this week. Yeah, is Tua a go?
No, Tua is out.
Tua is out. I thought he was.
They're actually
cleared.
starting. Who's the third string?
Their rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting to
Really? I thought they said Tua was cleared this week.
he was cleared, but they're
Dang,
keeping
did I
him
pick?
out.
Yeah,
They're doing something
McDaniels-
smart. They're really nursing this ankle injury.
They are. I mean, I think there's more to. I think there's more underneath that ankle injury that we don't know about. But
I thought it was his back. His back.
But all joking aside, you got the fans. They were rolling with Tua, and now I don't know. I don't know if you can get behind that team at all going against Minnesota, even being at home. I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't even. This is a game I stay away from just because of the fact Vikings are going in the heat. We know how the North teams hate the heat and humidity, but I think talent wins out. So, I mean,
They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna do. The Vikings are gonna do something the Bears and the Packers don't do, and that's run the ball well.
yeah.
I mean, no, I'm being serious. The Packers aren't gonna run the Packers aren't gonna run the ball because they got a diva quarterback and he wants it in his hands all the time. He doesn't want to do what's best for the team. And the Bears don't want to run the ball because they don't have anybody.
Their running back
have been running the ball.
I mean,
And well.
he played well. Their running backs both played well in Chicago. But
it's not.
I mean,
Herbert,
the Lions might escape this week without a loss.
maybe.
yeah,
Oh.
we'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I think them and the Raiders both lose this week.
Yeah.
Jared Goff might throw a pick. But you guys got anything else going on in the North? Or?
Yep. So I know the only thing I really heard around here, to just listen to local sports casts and stuff like that, was I think you're right in the fact that there might be something else, wrong with Tua besides an ankle. That might be another thumb issue. I don't know, but it's one of those things where I think they're even talking about how the Vikings are probably going to come in and swipe the floor with them a little bit, just simply because of the fact that they're starting to become the Walking Dead kind of injured thing, where there's quite a few injuries, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe
I got something. Yesterday I was watching football, and Cole Kmet is broadcasting for Notre Dame games. When has there ever been an active player broadcasting?
Greg Olson.
He did it while he was active?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
The Bears thing? Like,
No, I think he did it when he was with
He was with
Carolina.
briefly.
Yeah, he was with Carolina.
Carolina and Seattle.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, no wonder they're bad. Their players are off just doing other things.
Hopefully he could catch
There were a couple of blocks that Komet actually missed pretty handily, and he didn't get thrown the ball enough to be able to kind of justify the fact.
So, do you think Carson Wentz could play
Chef
tight end?
serving breakfast.
That was a solid block. I don't care what you say. But
yes, it's a solid block coming from a solid end too.
It was better than Justin Fields' attempted block where he went sprinting down the field.
Let's go East. I think we got to finally accept the fact that the NFC Beast is no longer the NFC East. Good Lord. I mean, they're just beating everybody, aren't they? You don't know?
It's a little too early to tell. I don't, we talked about this before. I don't really say too much until after week six, but it's starting to look good, but
I mean, even the Commanders won this week.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So if the Cowboys didn't play the Eagles, the NFC East would have a chance to sweep.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. They're just beating everybody. I don't know why they're playing so well this year. It might be because they've had so many high draft picks the last 6 seasons. But what you got going on in the East, Mike?
Well, we'll get to the Cowboys last.
Somebody slow your sleep.
That's the only way they'll last that long.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got the Giants playing the Ravens. So, I mean, on paper, it looks like the Ravens should just walk right over them. But the way New York's defense has been playing, I don't know. If they could contain Lamar, I think they end up pulling it out. But, I mean, I still don't trust the Giants. I mean, I know they're 4-1, but
if the Giants can control the clock and control the pace of the game, I think they win. I mean, if Saquon Barkley has a good game, if Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over.
Well, and Barkley's leading the league, in most of the total yards for a running back. So, I mean, if they could control that, then that's why I think they have a chance. But it's more on their defense, I think, with the Ravens and how, if they can control Lamar Jackson at all and how well he plays. So, I mean, I'm not picking the game because, to me, it's a trap game for the Giants. I think the Ravens end up pulling it out. And then we'll see the free fall from the Giants. So, and then, I mean, we've already touched on the game on Thursday night and the best.
There was a game Thursday night?
Yeah. I mean, they were supposed to be, but I fell asleep.
Do you have any highlights?
Yeah, I got one. You want to put it up there for me?
I'm kind of upset that we don't get to see Andy while it's on. I just want to see his appointment. Just cringe.
All right. Cowboys Eagles, man.
So this is the game of the week, man. I think this is, like I kind of said before the year, I thought the Cowboys and Eagles would be whoever it would be for between them winning the division, and it's going to be tonight. So can Cooper Rush keep pulling the magic horseshoe out of his ass is the question. I mean, he's a good backup quarterback, and when I say that,
you say he's a good backup.
Yeah, he's a good backup. That's what came out of my mouth. I think the run game is really actually helping him, and that the first game that we played this year, and we were playing the Bucs, they didn't run the ball well. I mean, we had a couple offensive linemen out to the start of the season, but the run game is helping. And this is where it comes down to, I think, if Dallas wins the night, you won't see Dak back until after the bye week.
Yeah, I honestly think you might. I know you don't want to admit this, and I know you don't want to speak into existence, but I think you might have a QB controversy here in Dallas. And then you've got Pollard, who's honestly playing phenomenal. I mean, why is Ezekiel Elliott still there?
Well, and this is what a couple of people have been saying. I mean, if you watch the games, when he's starting, he's the whole thunder and lightning thing with the running backs. He gets in and he just starts plowing the crap over people, and he's not running like he used to. He's just running into people. He's not juking as much as he used to. Ezekiel Elliott's just running, finding the hole, he's hitting it and going, and he's gone. Pollard's still got that young ability to where he could, juke and make cuts and do everything else, and I think that's what you're seeing from it. But I don't think Pollard should be starting.
No? You don't think we have a potential changing in the guard in Dallas with Cooper Rush and Pollard stepping in, and Dallas actually
I think you should.
traded for draft capital with
I don't think
Ezekiel
Jerry Jones
Elliott.
lets it happen.
What's that?
No, they're gonna have to do something with Zeke's contract though. It's either gonna be he's gonna have to take less money or restructure their contract so they keep Pollard. I mean, you can't if it comes down to offseason and it comes down to Zeke and Pollard and they keep Zeke, then we're gonna see Jerry Jones do his dumb stuff like he normally does. But I mean,
you have a chance right now to get capital. Trade week's coming up. The Cowboys can't survive without Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, he doesn't bring much to the table. What's he averaging? 3.6 yards a carry right now? I don't think it's that.
For his contract, he's not living up to it. But, I mean, if you watch the games, he's actually – I mean, he's doing decent. I mean, it's not like he's, in the bottom of the category.
No, he's middle of the pack, right? He's like
but
16, 17.
For his contract, he should be in the top 5 every single year.
Exactly. That's my point exactly.
So
you could move on from him and Dak and free up so much cap space.
They're not going to get rid of Dak. He's staying. I know everybody keeps talking about Cooper Rush this, Cooper Rush that. But, I mean, he'll be back either after the bye week or he's after this week, regardless. If
I get the same old Cowboys back.
Yeah.
I really just think Stout loves the Dak.
Yeah.
If you were to get rid of Dak, where would you trade him? Where would he go?
Chicago.
Be a backup somewhere.
Chicago's got the capital for him.
Chicago doesn't want that style quarterback.
He's a pocket passer.
Huh.
I was just going to say maybe wait until Carolina's fire sale. They may have enough capital to get Dak.
Oh, Carolina's getting rid of everybody. I'll cover that in a little bit.
But I still think Dak's going to come back. And like we kind of discussed a little bit before the show, you could tell there's a difference in the play calling when Cooper Rush is in and when Dak is in. And I think if they keep the same play calling in, you'll see the older version of Dak doing what he's supposed to do. And I think he's thinking too much when he's out there. And that's the thing. He's thinking way too much about everything, and it's just causing
so now you simplify your playbook. You pretty much take everything your offensive coordinator has established for Dak, and you're just going to throw it away and give him a simplified offense with a 2-read system?
I'm not talking about a 2-read system, but I'm talking about if you look, and I was watching the games and watching Kellen Moore, I've been watching it. He's giving Cooper Rush like 3 plays. Now when Jackson, he's got the whole playbook to change, to change to whatever.
Right.
But,
no, I understand what you're saying. I just don't know how you pay someone and give him half the playbook.
I mean,
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
He just, the concept with me is that he audibles too much. Run the play, that's in, and that's part of the problem. Cooper Rush, if you watch, he's audibles, but he doesn't do it almost every other play. He's running the plays that are called. And
right.
I have faith in Kellen Moore calling the plays. I actually do. Yeah. I mean, I think he's a good offensive coordinator, but
he's proven that by taking you get Cooper Rush, who's been cut by how many teams?
Yeah.
And you've given him an offense he can win with. That's what an offensive coordinator does. So when your offensive coordinator is calling plays and sending it into Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott's just changing them, that's on Prescott. That's the issue.
Yeah. And that's what I think they need to just kind of nip in the ass and be like, done with it. We got to start winning games. And tonight's going to be a good game to see what happens with the Cowboys, because there's only 2 teams in the league, defensive-wise, that the defense has been keeping them in games. But you can't sustain that all year. You just can't.
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. And when you're moving the offense, I'm hoping Dak's really watching. When you start moving the offense a little bit, it gives defense a break. And, I mean, I hate to say it, but right now, Dallas and San Francisco got the 2 best defenses in the league.
What is going on? I do not like this version of Mike Style.
I'm having 90s flashbacks, dude, is what I'm having. I'm having 90s flashbacks. Like, what year is it?
Oh, my God.
I hate saying it because I don't,
I think you and Jerry have this secret bond outside the show. Is he in your basement? You have Jerry in your basement.
I'm in Jerry's basement. He gets a nice little room. I got to stay in the basement.
You got anything else in the East, Mike?
No, just I'm not going to say because I'll jinx it. All right,
Cowboys win. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyone else got something they'd like to add to the NFC East conversation before we kick it to Jerry?
Philadelphia is 6.5-point favorites with a total score of 42, according to your friends over at Caesars. So,
hey, how did the Commanders play? We didn't go over them.
The who?
What?
The Commanders. We didn't go over them. How did they play?
We're going.
Want to talk about that. So, Dilfer did win the Super Bowl.
He had to do the pancake right there. Like, it was perfect.
Dilfer won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if we're throwing out, when the Bears started, they were Decatur Staleys. Come on, who else? Let's just throw out random facts.
Oh, wow. Hey.
We do need a siren for anytime someone says Redskins, we got to hit it. I'll work on that this weekend. But what's going on in the West, Jer?
The 49ers have bought a hospital to have enough room for everybody.
Yeah, their injury report is lengthy.
It's ridiculous. The crazy thing is that they're still leading the league in defense with their backups.
You got 5 players out, 4 of which are defensive starters, and you got your starting tackle out.
Yeah, and they just moved. They just moved Mosley, which we knew was going to happen with his ACL. But then they put Kinlaw on the IR, which was kind of a shock. I thought he was on his way back, but they got to make some room because I don't know if even Robbie Gould is playing today. Wow, that's
all right. Sorry. You got to share the comments. If we don't share the comments, they're not going to make them.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Andy.
Anyway, so the Niners go to play Atlanta today with their backups. Basically a preseason game. They have it predicted right now as like a 51-49 split. I don't see it. I still think that the Niners handled the Falcons handedly. I know, Doris, you're all like, the Falcons are great because they almost beat you guys, but then
the Niners.
But
the Niners are only a 5.5-point favorite going into Atlanta, so that puts them at almost a 2 score because Atlanta's going to get 3 for being at home. But I don't know if this game can even be that close. I really don't.
I don't think it's close at all. That's. I don't think the Niners have to rely on a call late in the game to win. We'll put it that way.
The Bucs were up 2 scores.
We're not on the South yet. Okay,
2 scores.
A whole other show to go. Yeah, no, we're not there.
Anyway,
talking about the Bucs already. Somebody cue up the Carson Wentz thing already.
Arizona is at Seattle.
Chef serving breakfast.
Arizona at Seattle. Geno's playing phenomenal.
Yeah, which makes you beg the question, was it really Russell Wilson's that good, or was it the coaching?
I think Russell Wilson's answered that question already this season.
I mean, yeah, he went to Walmart and did not do too good. So, I don't see that game being very exciting. It's going to be pretty average across the board. Have a toddler running around in the backfield, and it's in Seattle where nobody likes to go. Anyway. And then last but not least, you got Carolina with nobody on their team left, taking their mascot to LA to play the Rams.
New coach in Carolina.
Yeah.
You got interim head coach Steve Wilkes with the new quarterback.
New defensive
PJ
coordinator.
Walker. Isn't he dynamite? That's right. Wow.
A little sweetness over here, huh?
PJ Walker, he wins. He plays well when he gets his opportunities.
Can somebody mute Mike's so he could just shut up for a little bit? Anybody?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you get Mike's? Yeah, there you go. Okay.
But yeah, this is one of those games. I mean, they've already said the Carolinas already said they're shopping CMC.
And the Niners are apparently on that list, and I don't want him.
Niners are on the list. Green Bay is on that list. Tampa Bay is on that list.
Buffalo
is definitely on that list. There's 5 teams
Buffalo's already made a call.
Yeah. And is he worth the investment in anything?
No, I don't want him to waste the time or money on him.
But
well, you just got done talking about the Rams. This just came out from Rappaport that the Rams are currently fielding and entertaining trade calls
for Cam Akers. Yes, sir. I would love Cam Akers to join the Bucs. I mean, we don't need him, but why not?
Do they trade for CMC?
Tampa?
No. Cam Akers for CMC.
No way. I think Carolina's accepting the fact that they're dwindling away in the basement this year, hoping to come back next year and see what they can do. But
wait, what are you talking about?
Not Chicago, Carolina. Go back to sleep, Andy.
I know they begin with the C.
It was like, oh, Bears, yeah.
You guys are lame. Let's talk about the Bears.
But yeah, Carolina's hurt. I mean, they're not coming in very healthy to that game either. I mean, they're starting receivers out. They're starting cornerbacks out. They're starting quarterbacks out. We've already said PJ Walker is starting because he's dynamite. Rams are favored by 10.
Rams aren't playing that good this year.
I was just going to say that. Stafford looks like he's stuck in Detroit again.
Yeah. I mean, their woes against San Francisco continue, and I think, honestly, that bugs them more as a franchise than, hey, they went out and won a Super Bowl. Whatever. I don't care. It's the first time ever. They went out and won a Super Bowl, but I think they're still just salty that they can't beat the Niners. I mean,
yeah, Niners have their number. Niners have
years. There's been a pick 6 against the Rams.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I think we need to start installing Glory Day songs so when Jerry starts reminiscing, we can just cue that up.
About this year and last year? Yeah, reminiscing.
But what else you got? We got to get to the best division in the league.
I mean,
the East? We already did it.
We can go into pick 6.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go into pick 6.
All right.
The hell out of here. We've already covered most of the games. I'll just dive into Saints Bengals. Saints are injured. I mean, good Lord. 3 of their receivers are out. You got Olave, Thomas, Hardy, Landry. Olave is questionable to play. Defensive end Turner's out, and they're starting corner Landry out.
It's Olave.
Whatever his name is, he's playing phenomenal. But anyway,
Olaf out there.
Bengals haven't been playing. Bengals haven't been playing well either. Coming into this game, they will be going with Hurst, who's questionable, Higgins, who's questionable, and their offensive tackle Williams is questionable. I do think the Saints win this game, being at home. I know they're injured. I know it's going to be rough, but when they got AK-41 in the lineup, they play so much better. So, yeah, I got the Saints winning this game. Now it's time. The time we've all been waiting for. Let's go Bucs. Shall we? Bucs have 3 people out this week. Hicks, Bunting, and Ryan. The Steelers have Sutton, Witherspoon, Wallace, and Fitzpatrick out. That's their entire secondary. Frymuth is out, as well as their defensive end, Leo. Pickett's starting. He's not really playing great. He's making rookie mistakes. He's already thrown 4 interceptions. You got an offense that's really geared around the run going against the Bucs. Supposed run defense, but they've been playing great against the run anyway. So I don't think this game's going to be the blowout everyone's predicting. I think it's going to be a lot closer than you anticipate. Najee Harris, while playing well, isn't really who I think you got to watch. I think Jalen Warren is the back to watch this game. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry. Deontay Johnson is another receiver for the Steelers you got to worry about. Claypool. I hear an echo. Whose echo is that?
That's you. Yeah, speaking of the Bucs, how did we not cover, or can we dive into this roughing the passer stuff? Because not only in the Bucs game, but the Chiefs one was even worse. The guy, how do you call roughing the passer on?
I miss throws, refs miss calls, but we try to do the best we can do, and when they don't go your way, you just complain to them.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that game. I'm talking about the Chiefs game. How do you call roughing the passer on somebody who has possession of the ball?
You're gonna. Unfortunately, the game is steered towards the offense, and they've got to protect the quarterbacks. And once the Dolphins messed up with Tua, because that was the worst ankle injury I've ever seen, the man got up, was walking, and then just collapsed because the pain on that ankle was so bad, he was staggering.
Yeah, but I understand all that stuff, but I mean, they got to do something to where that call is reviewable or something, because
the league's already made an announcement. They're doing a owners meeting, I think, next week, and that is a topic to make that reviewable.
God, yeah. The Kansas City one was awful. The guy has possession of the ball, and they call roughing.
Did you guys happen to see the roughing of the linebacker that
Chef
wasn't
serving
cool?
breakfast.
The NFL's out trying to protect quarterback, and Carson Wentz is like, hold my beer.
I was just going to say that.
All right.
I mean, to Roquan Smith's credit, he was probably just trying to avoid a roughing the passer call because they would have called it there if he hit.
But in all honesty, I hate the direction the game's going. I miss football. I miss the hit. That's the only way I played is I tried to hit as hard as I could. I've gotten credit for tackles I wasn't even in on.
I mean, I've noticed that they've seemed to have lightened up on the defenseless receiver calls that I used to hate all the time, because there's a couple times watching the Niners game where I'm like, oh great, that's gonna be a flag, and they just let it go. Yeah. But they've lightened up on that a little bit, which is awesome. But this roughing the passer stuff is getting out of hand, and it's ruining. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna just put flags on them at this point.
That's what I'm saying. It's awful. Think of all the great players that couldn't play in this era of football. They're all in the Hall of Fame. They made the NFL, and now they're just skirting away from it.
Well, wasn't it during the Chiefs game, Crosby ended up just grabbing a hold of Mahomes and just bear hugging him and be like, my thing is, they do that. They start making the defense do that and get away from it. And then what do you do at that point? The refs are going to either have to blow the whistle earlier as soon as they put hands on the quarterback, or they're going to have to let him start playing and let him hit him. I mean, there's no –
put your hands on the quarterback, there's a penalty there too.
The technology is there that they can monitor how hard your impact was. They have the gear that's available. They're just not using it. I'm telling you.
They can build back better. We have the technology.
So
start playing the $6 million man or something. Now it's a $6 billion man with some of these
right.
players. Did you actually see one of the offensive linemen for the Bears actually have that extra little part of the helmet?
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys on the 49ers that have it.
Right. And so I don't know what that, there was two theories about what that, could be just like an extra impact zone, could be that's where the sensors are, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean it's because you have players that are, bigger, faster, stronger, that kind of thing. People are going to get, injured, unfortunately, and then they of course see what the effects are. So that's why it's going to get to be professional flag football pretty soon, I guess. But
yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
I mean, all the quarterback stuff is just money. I mean, that they got to keep the quarterback in and make the ticket sales and all that stuff. But
100%.
But speaking of, you can't go this far with it. It's got to be a reviewable call at least.
Agreed, 100%. But speaking of money, Brian's got some ways for us to make some money this weekend.
That's right. That's right. I actually got 6 plays.
Okay.
I'll make it real quick. You're going to take the under in the Jets-Packers game, under 45. You're going to take the Giants plus the 5.5. Take the Bengals minus the 1.5. Take the Colts minus the 1.5. Take the Falcons plus 5.5, and take the Seahawks plus 3. There you go.
Right on. Six good plays should lead to 6 good picks, yeah?
If your name's Justin Fields.
Man, I'm going. All these segues are just lining up perfectly, right?
Wow.
So I do that. Do I play the long one or the short one?
Like a personal problem.
Yep.
Okay, that was long enough. Andy doesn't like the long one.
That guy's like 200 pounds.
It's 2.5 hours long.
It's 40 seconds. But anyway, who's going first? Who's in the lead with our pick 6 right now?
I believe it's this guy.
I think Brian knew.
Yeah, I knew.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm going all NFC teams this week, guys. And actually, I'm going show favorites. Buccaneers over Steelers. Niners over the Falcons. Cowboys over the Eagles. And then I'm doing Rams over Panthers, Packers over Jets, and Vikings over the Dolphins.
Right on.
But you're doing all the show teams. I thought.
I am. I'm KODing everybody.
You can't be KOD when you're in the lead, man.
I forgot. Oh, sorry. The Bears already played. My bad.
Well, since the Bears already played, Andy, you want to go?
I'm going to pick the Commanders.
We'll give that one to you. We'll give that.
Vikings over the Dolphins. Now, there's various reasons, with Tua's languishing ankle injury. Pack over the Jets. I think that's actually going to be a pretty good game, and I think we actually kind of touched on the reason why it was going to be a pretty good game. Offenses versus defenses, et cetera, et cetera. The potential for a hurt thumb from AA run, but I think the Pack are going to hopefully pull that one out in this particular case. Other than that, yeah, they can go pound sand. I'm picking the Pats over the Browns. Cubs. Rams over the Panthers, and that's pretty obvious because the Panthers are hey, Monday night, absolute number 1 primetime game of the week, Bears versus the Panthers. I have no predictions on that one. It ends 0-0. It would end negative scores. I don't know the way that they're playing. Eagles over the other team. So I can't read my handwriting. And Bills over the Chiefs.
Bills over the Chefs.
How are the Bears getting another primetime game? They're like the new Broncos. We're sick of seeing that team.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll shoot off my pick 6 real quick then, and then we'll go Jerry, then Stout, since Stout's got the late game. I have Niners, Green Bay, Minnesota, the Rams, the Cowgirls, and the Chargers. Easy enough. Jer?
I'm taking the Niners, Rams, Packers, Eagles, Bucs, and then the Browns. Got to make up some ground here.
Yeah. Stout. You're what's left, man.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, Vikings will be my pick every year this year. So Vikings are going to win. Taking the Bengals, taking the Rams, taking that team from Santa Clara, the 49ers.
I swear.
And I'm taking the Bucs. And just because my father-in-law's in town, we'll take the Chargers over the Broncos, man.
Right on.
Yeah.
Anyone got some closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, I got one that I want to talk about the NFC North, and I forgot that. How is it that did you guys see the Runyon got fined for that late fee or whatever by his own father, which is to me is just absolutely hilarious. I mean, you think you move out of the house and you won't get spanked anymore, and he spanked his own son.
What about Brady getting fined for kicking people?
Hey, it happens.
It's not really sportsmanship, huh?
Yeah, you know.
Well, just remember, he got the flag that he wanted.
He did.
Oh, yeah. And then still kicking.
He doesn't throw the flags, Brian. The ref.
Do we need to go back to that? Andy, what do you got? I'm sick of listening to these guys bigger.
So, the Bears, in fact,
Chef serving breakfast.
That was right.
All right.
I will say this. Now, as cool as those orange helmets look, I don't think they should ever play in those damn things ever again.
Dude, those are awful. Ugliest uniforms in the league. Who has an orange jersey? All right, let's kick the outro.
It says Crib School.